Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to NPTEL's course on communication skills. We are on a very interesting module, and this module is exclusively on interview skills, and this is module number 8 and this is lecture number 5. Module number 8, lecture number 5 on interview skills. This, as I said, perhaps is the most beneficial and most interesting of all the lectures we've been having on communication skills, because this has a very practical relevance also. As I've been doing it in the previous lectures, overall in the module, I was trying to clear some of the misconceptions about an interview. Things like what a CV can do and what a CV cannot do. CV is not a magical card that will just take you up to the interview, but it will not fetch you the job actually. So you should not be fooled by people who charge so much for writing a CV. So this is one thing. And then thinking that looks, thinking that influence, thinking that things which are other than communication skills, even just mere merit will get you in the interview, is to some extent is also a kind of misconception, because all the time it is not just what you have, but how you are going to present what you have. This how is accounting for the body language, the soft skills, the communication skills, and combined with we put together as interview skills. So in the first module, we saw about the misconceptions, and then in the first lecture of this module, we continued with the definition of what is an interview, and then I tried to tell you the purpose, and then I slowly moved on to prepare you for the interview. I suggested methods for overcoming the fear, and then I also told how you should prepare. Actually, basically there are two ways: knowing yourself and knowing the company. And then so many suggestions were given, and I suggest that you get back to the lectures to have a quick revision of them. And then I started discussing about the keys to success in interviews. Now in that context, I just stopped the previous lecture, and then we'll continue in this lecture some of the keys to success, and then some checklist that you should have before getting into the interview, and what you should be doing inside the interview room, the venue. Now, one of the keys to success, or generally if you look at the basic keys to success, these are factors which are based on how you are perceived. Now, generally we assess ourselves by what we think we are, okay, but others assess us by the fact as how we perform. Depending on our performance, not by what we think we are, but by our actions, but by seeing what we do because what we are. Now, this difference between assessing us by our own individual concepts and then people actually perceiving us by our actions will clear cut tell us that we need to have some skills to demonstrate what we really are. Now in that context, others get the perception of you from three basic types of communication. The basic one is the visual aspect, as how you look. How you look is related to the body language, the way you are dressed, the way you are moving, the way you are pulling the chair and sitting, the way your whole body is communicating a message about what you are. So that's the visual part. And then the verbal part, what you say. Do you say it without mumbling? Do you say it clearly, confidently, and so on? Combined with voice, the intonation, the modulation. Are you speaking within yourself? Are you casting your voice? So these three aspects, visual, verbal, and the way you are casting your voice, is the one that's creating an image together in terms of getting success in interview. Now, before you get into the room, let's take a quick look at the pre-interview quick checklist. You should ensure that you have these things before actually getting into the interview room. Check first whether your dressing is appropriate. So you may be interested in wearing a very informal kind of dress. I was there in a kind of post interview discussion, and then I was quite curious to know why one particular candidate was not selected for that particular job. Although I knew that the candidate is very highly qualified, I was quite surprisingly told that the way the candidate dressed looked slightly off the track, and then they were not able to accept. Now, my feeling is probably if the candidate is good, I thought the panel should have selected the candidate and given a feedback that the way the candidate dressed for the interview should not be the way in which the candidate should be dressing when the candidate is going for teaching. Actually, the job was for teaching. Now, they thought that this is a very young candidate, and then the way the candidate is dressed could send some wrong signals to the students, and they may be distracted and all that. So, on the one hand, I find that the candidate has been done some kind of injustice, but on the other hand, the caution that I am trying to give you, appropriate dressing. Now, see how the panel decided just the way the candidate dressed for the occasion as something that is final and predetermined. They thought that the candidate is never going to change her behavior, even if they would give positive feedback. So, dress for the occasion appropriately, and if you know that they are looking for a conservative kind of dressing style, go with that conservative kind of style. Maintenance of good posture. Posture includes the time you are entering the interview hall, the way you are walking, reaching the chair that is kept for you, the way you are sitting, and so on, and the smile with which you are entering the hall. And it's not a nervous smile, but a smile that's radiating confidence. Okay, and that smile with lot of cheerfulness and enthusiasm and looking forward to the kind of questions, even troublesome, that you are willing to take some kind of challenge. So that kind of attitude, it's radiated through the smile. And at the beginning itself, giving a very firm handshake. I'll talk more about this, but remember this as an aspect of checklist. Cool and calm behavior throughout, controlled, relaxed mannerism, maintaining eye contact with all the members of the interview panel, not one whom the candidate likes, using a loud enough voice so that everybody in the room is able to hear the candidate, and at the same time to speak in a clear tone so that everybody hears it clearly without asking the candidate to repeat it again and again. And then knowing when to stop. So there are candidates whom, if they are given some kind of choice of answering a question, fearing that they may be asked some difficult question, they keep on answering it endlessly. Now, one should know when to stop. Once one knows that the question has been answered sufficiently, succinctly well, the candidate should stop. Then, after everything is over, once the answers have been given succinctly, one should leave the hall by saying thank you, bye, but overall leaving with a very pleasant kind of impression. So, everything is complete and the people are quite happy, and the person is leaving the hall with that kind of happy environment created at the end. Any argument is resolved, any questions they wanted to ask have been answered clearly at the end, and at the end, polite mannerisms and pleasing etiquette. So that makes the panel members feel quite pleasant about the candidate even when the candidate is left. There is a lingering feeling of satisfaction and pleasantness even after the candidate is left. So this should be the quick checklist when you are actually going to enter into the interview hall. Now, once you are thorough with this, going back to the keys to success, the first one I said is visual. Visual is predominantly known through the clothes and the body language. So, let's spend some time on these clothes and body language. In terms of body language, we can divide body language into three aspects. First one is maintaining eye contact and then showing confident posture and controlling nervous actions. Now, first about clothes, which I keep telling you repeatedly is very important because it's coming under the visual category. It's very important in terms of personal appearance. Why? Personal appearance, body language, and voice have the greatest influence on another person's initial impression. There are slight differences of opinion with regard to the timing of initial impression. Some people say about 1.5 minutes, some people say it's 2 minutes, some say that it's 5 minutes. Now, whatever it is, you can understand that minimum of a minute and maximum of 5 minutes, the initial impression is formed. So, this initial impression that is formed through body language, which includes personal appearance, body language as such, and voice, they all together provide instant information about one's personality even before the person starts speaking, saying something about himself. Immediately they come to know, even before the person utters the first word, through the appearance and body language and the voice in which he is starting, they come to know so much about the personality. So, one has to be careful on these three aspects. Various studies have been conducted, and then one famous study is by Albert Mehrabian, and according to him, you will be quite surprised to know that the content, the verbal content that was given in the form of word, that is received by the listener and the impression formed only through this verbal component emanating from word is just 7% of the whole communication. Only 7% of the words that were uttered were actually contributing to creating an impression in the mind of the interviewers. 38% came from vocal characteristics such as tone, volume, and pace. Tone, volume, and pace. Pace is the speed in which one is delivering, or the deliberate slowness in which one is delivering because of nervousness maybe. And then 55% of the remaining was just from the speaker's facial expressions and body language. So, you can understand 55 against 45, and 55 completely on body language, and even the remaining 38, if you include, around 93%, it's non-verbal. Only 7% is literally verbal, literally the words which are being used. The semantic part is taken into consideration only 7%, 93% is totally related to the non-semantic, non-verbal, the body language aspect of it. So, keep that in mind, and then don't focus only on the verbal, try to give equal importance, more importance to this non-verbal component also. So, in order to show that, right from the beginning, start displaying enthusiasm. So, that kills all kind of negativity that will emanate through words. Start displaying enthusiasm as soon as you enter the hall. When you want to have a quick look about communication in general, this graph will show how 7% is the one that is related to verbal expression, and then 55% is again related to facial expressions, and then about 38% is related to vocal expression. So, remember this graph, keep that in mind. Now, having emphasized on the point of non-verbal, let's get back to dressing for success in interviews. Why it is important? Because your appearance will speak volumes before you ever utter a word. Before even you say a single word, it's your appearance that's going to create an impression. So, what should you do? You should be well dressed. Well dressed does not mean going with very expensive dress, very costly dress, the most costliest dress in the world, studded with diamonds and golds. No, well dressed means dressed suitably for the occasion, looking good in terms of neatness. It's not looking dirty, it's not looking shabby, it's not looking overused, it's not too new, it's not too old, it's just good. just fresh, and it's combined with your nice looking behavior overall, added with smiling. And then when you go with this kind of dress, as far as possible, stay conservative and traditional. So instead of thinking that, in case of male candidate, thinking that what would happen if I go with jeans and t-shirt with some flashy captions, it's always safe to go with suit if it is winter, or go with dress, simple dress with tie if it is possible, to create a conservative image. And for the female candidates, it's always better, instead of risking once again the informal jeans or t-shirt or tops which are quite fashionable and modern, instead of that, so in an Indian context, it would again be either salwar or sari. So these are the conservative ones which would definitely create a safe impression, followed by the fact that you should understand you should dress for the position you want, not the position you have. Position you want, not the position you have. What does it mean? You may be the daughter of a millionaire. So by birth, you have achieved a position, but you don't have to display that in the interview panel, before the interview panel. So you're supposed to dress still simple for the position that you are aspiring for in the organization that you are interested in working, not the position that you already have in terms of your birth. Okay. So keep that very clearly in mind. Dress for the position you want, not the position you have. What are the dress codes? Are there some do's and don'ts? Yes, of course. What are the do's? What should you do? Now, business like outfit, the type that reflects your personality, character and values. Just by looking at you, they are able to assess your values just by the way you have dressed, your character, your personality. The person is simple, determined, has conservative lifestyle, maybe inheriting some kind of old values, etc., etc., and generally clean and ironed clothing. You may have a spare in case something is going shabby because you are carrying on a suitcase. Matching clothes, simple, clean, polished, conservative shoes. Again, not sports shoes, and especially not very flashy sports shoes with the spikes on the back and all that. Fresh haircut a couple of days before interview. I'm again going to emphasize on some of these points. For instance, I say fresh haircut a couple of days before interview, not exactly on the day of the interview. Clean, trimmed fingernails. So when you put your hands, the fingernails do not show a lot of dirt inside it. So they are cleaned. And then clean teeth also. When the person smiles and opens the mouth, so much of foul smell, and teeth is completely colored because the person has chewed some tobacco or porn and didn't bother to brush his teeth after that, came in a hurry. Appropriate accessories. Now, accessories would mean the perfume that you are going to use, the belt, in case of ladies, the handbag, jewelry that the person is deciding to use, the hair clip. So these are all accessories. Even watch, even the pen that is kept, everything else that is being displayed but used as an added one to the dressing, these are accessories. Now, when I say appropriate accessories, you should be very cautious about even using some of these accessories. Why? Take for an example, there are perfumes which are meant exclusively for women, and then there are perfumes meant exclusively for men. Imagine a situation where the panel members, interview members, are quite busy looking down at something and writing something, taking some notes, discussing something, and the candidate is just entering. Now, they didn't have time to look at the candidate, but before the candidate comes, very pungent fragrance touches their nostrils, they are able to smell the candidate from a distance because the candidate has used so much of perfume. Now, first, so much of perfume, fragrance causing pungent smell should be avoided on the one hand. On the other hand, the smell that emanated was of jasmine, okay, was of a flower that is actually meant especially and exclusively for women. So, they were just looking at it and they were wondering that, oh, a female candidate is coming, and then they look at it and then a male is standing there and then he is just giving a sheepish smile, and then they say, come in, take your seat. But the psychological impression that they had expecting a woman and then a man has come, so some kind of psychological disappointment on the one hand, and then the shock and surprise that here is a guy who is using a female perfume. What kind of a person is he? Is he not aware of the fact that this cannot be used by men? Or if it is used, it is creating a different kind of symbol? So, these are the questions they have in their mind even before the person starts answering the first question. So, use of perfume, even such a simple thing, one has to be very careful, and so all other accessories, just be careful. If it has to go with makeup, especially in case of ladies, it has to be again simple. It has to be simple makeup. One need not spend thousands of rupees just as if it is a very rare occasion, just like one's marriage or engagement ceremony, where one spends so much of time in using lot of cosmetics and decorative item, and a specialist is called for hair dressing and all that. So, that is not required. If at all a makeup is required, it should be very simple, so simple that it should be deceptive. People should not even feel that somebody has applied some makeup. It should look so natural, so genuinely coming from the person. And minimum cologne or perfume, no pungent one and no distractive one, so that you keep it in mind. What are the don'ts with regard to the dress code for interviews? Basically, runners, as if you just went for a jogging and then directly got into the interview room, jeans, t-shirts, especially t-shirts with very distractive kind of slogans, captions that attracts the attention immediately, that shocks the reader and so on. Distracting jewelry, so very costly ones, very gorgeous ones, but then not suited for the occasion. Strong perfume you should avoid. Strong aftershave, some person may think that okay, aftershave is harmless, but there are some aftershave lotion, perfume which comes with strong smell, so which should be avoided again. And then smells of alcohol, even if it was taken on the previous night. Garlic, somebody enjoyed taking a heavy food just before the interview, some garlic fried rice, but then the smell is emanating, and then worst of all, smell of cigarettes. Now, use something, use a mouth freshener, mouth washer, you can even brush your teeth again and again, do something, but control this smell. This again can create a very negative image. Then chewing gum, you should not chew gum even if you are habituated towards it. You should throw it in a suitable place before entering into the interview hall. Inside, when somebody is asking and then you keep chewing the gum and thinking, and you think that it's stylish, to them it can appear rude, it can appear to be very impolite, it can appear to be casual, unconcerned, disinterested, any negative image that goes with that, nothing positive about it. They can even think you are a nervous person and you are using it to control your nervousness. No positive image will emanate by looking at a person who is chewing gum inside the interview hall. So, keep that in mind. And generally, punky, weird kind of hairstyle. Look at the picture that I am trying to show. This is what I mean by punky, weird kind of hairstyle. So one thinks that this kind of hairstyle is cool, and then thinks that this is fine, and then I'm okay with it. But then this will not go with a conservative interview background. So this can even go against selecting you as a candidate, however brilliant you may be, however excellent your communication skills may be. This one negative body language symbol can just mar your whole chance. So take note of it, and then later whatever you do, that's between you and your boss. But interview is not the time to display your weirdness, your strangeness, and that you're punky in terms of thinking and all that. That's not the time. So keep that also in mind. Avoid this kind of weird style. And what are some other tips in terms of men and women? For men, necktie, and generally they say that it should be silk with a conservative pattern. Nowadays you get very good cotton ties also, which are conservative in pattern. So no flashy images, pictures, just the simple dotted ones, plain ones, striped and so on, but which is conservative and suits the dress that you are wearing. Color also one has to be quite careful. So not something like reddish and then completely going totally against what you are wearing as a shirt. So keep those things in mind. In case of women, it's better to wear a suit with a jacket in Western context, and in case of Indian context, it's better to wear a simple sari or salwar in Indian context. For men, dark shoes, especially black lace ups, are the best ones. And then dark socks, again black is supposed to be the best. The only other alternative could be dark blue. In case of women, no high heels for various obvious reasons. So again, you are showing that you are stylish, uppish and all that, but you can also fumble down, you can also fall down because of that. So avoid the risk by going on the normal slipper or normal shoes. In case of men, you can get a haircut. Short hair always fares best in interviews. In case of women, no purses, small or large, carry a briefcase instead. Now, today women tend to carry keychain, and then mobile is also carried on a small pouch, and then there is a purse, small one for carrying money, sometimes something for carrying coins, and then there is also a handbag that has certain other items. So 4-5 items on the hand looks very awkward. So use a kind of briefcase in which you can put everything in place. In case of men, again no beards. So except if the religious ceremony is recommending that you should have it, or you have some kind of custom and practice, which sometimes you may have to explain in the interview also. Other than that, generally if you are using it as a stylish statement, French beard and different kind of beard, so it should be avoided. It can again indicate shabbiness, again indicate lot of negative things, so better avoid it. In case of women, if you wear nail polish, which is actually not required, it is not required that you do that, use clear or a conservative color. In fact, these days you get transparent colors. So try to use transparent colors so that it looks clean and neat, but it doesn't show any pompous display of color. Then, in case of men, mustaches, again in certain contexts, in India particularly, the northern context, people take that as a negative one. In southern context, it should be treated as a positive one. But overall, if you wear that as a kind of personal choice, it should be trimmed at least. Okay, it should not be overgrown. It should be trimmed and neat. And then in case of women, minimal use of makeup, and it should not be noticeable. In case of men again, no rings, especially displaying different rings with different color stones, and then one ring on each finger. The only thing that could be allowed is perhaps an engagement ring or a wedding ring that is used as a kind of token of love, and then that's kept for a long time. Other than that, no rings are allowed. Now, same thing goes with women also. No more than one ring on each hand. Okay, maybe she has one given by her father and another one given by her husband, but not more than two, of course, one in each hand, that is fine. And in case of men, no earrings. So again, the punky kind of thinking. So they think that earrings are cool for men also. These days, even they go for nose rings and 2 earrings. Now, all these things, even if you are habituated to wear it, just remove it before the interview. So, before the interview, you are not supposed to have these kind of things, which are not considered to be norm. So, why you want to take a risk? Why you want to distract their attention by wearing it? Then, in case of women, it should be one set of earrings, then less attractive, less distractive. So, it should be simple as possible. Okay. So, keep these things in mind. There are some non-verbal blockers. I would also say that they are sometimes shockers. The moment they look at it, they are shocked, and then it's kind of blocking them to form a favorable impression at all. What are the non-verbal blockers? If you quickly look at some of the non-verbal blockers, wearing sunglasses, irrespective of the fact whether it is summer or winter, irrespective of the fact that you are inside a cool air-conditioned room, there is no glaring sunlight and absolutely no problem, you still wear sunglasses, especially dark ones, and they are not able to look at you. Obviously, they have a negative impression because I keep telling you that maintaining eye contact is the most important thing in interviews and in any communicative situation. So, you are just blocking that eye contact first of all. And when you hide your eyes, you also project a kind of impression that you are somewhat not honest, or rather you are dishonest. That's why you don't want to give any straightforward answers by looking into the eyes of the other person, and you are avoiding, and so on. So, wearing sunglasses should be avoided, but if you wear it, understand that it's a blocker, it's a shocker, and it goes against creating a very favorable impression. Same thing with wearing a cap when it is not necessary, okay. Especially inside the room, it's absolutely not necessary. If you have worn it outside because it's hot, but when you come inside, just remove it. Okay. Especially with funky captions and color, and as soon as you go, people look at the cap only. They do not look at what you are saying, and they keep looking at it for some reason or other. So, that should be avoided. Then there are people who think that they will create a striking impression by wearing something that is totally black, black shirt, black pant. Okay. You know, especially in an Indian context, it's also used as a sign of protest, sign of mourning. So, and then there are occasions when people with complete black are not even allowed to enter into some auditorium, like a convocation that's going on where all are supposed to wear white or a cream color dress, and somebody with black is not supposed to get into that auditorium. Same thing goes with the interview. So, if you are thinking that you will wear dark dress, dark brown, which as good as looks like black, and same color pant and shirt, no contrast, and completely you are going with that kind of thing, you are again shocking them and blocking in terms of creating a favorable impression about you with regard to your body language. Then, wearing a new but totally uncomfortable dress. Many people think that for the interview, I will wear this brand new dress. That is not a correct attitude and practically not a good idea. It's better to wear a dress that you are quite comfortable with, that you always feel that when you wear it, you are quite happy about it. In fact, I would go one step ahead and say that not only the dress that you feel happy about it, people sometimes even associate sentiments or even associate luck with the dress. Some people think that if I wear the dress, all the things go smoothly, easily, and I have a cakewalk. If I don't have this dress and if I wear some other dress, things go wrong. So avoid that dress and avoid that kind of dress that in your psychological frame of mind is already giving you a negative thinking. But at the same time, avoid a new dress which may give you happiness, but then you feel some kind of itching. You feel that maybe the dress should be slightly shorter or should be loose, or the length of the trousers are too short or too long, and then you are not comfortable while walking. So you walk in an awkward style, it's not your usual posture. So avoid wearing a new, especially uncomfortable one which you have not tried it at all. So avoid that new dress, wear the one that you are quite comfortable with. And then some people use shopping bags to carry files or any materials. So that should be avoided. It should be a briefcase or a professional bag which creates an impression that you are quite professional. Shopping bag creates a very shabby impression and creates the feeling that you use shopping bag everywhere and you are so casual and you have no attitude and you have no respect for the interview panel. Then having a close haircut on the interview day, this again is not desirable. As I said, have it 2 days before, have it a week before. Week before you can have close one, and then the interview day it's just exact, giving you a pleasant appearance. So instead of showing them that you had that haircut so close, and sometimes when it is so close, it also creates a kind of funny cartoon kind of impression. So that caricature image should be avoided. Professional image comes once it is shown that the face is looking good with regard to haircut, which is neat and trimmed, and just maybe 4 or 5 days before, in some case even 2 days before, but just on that morning should be avoided. But when I say this, shaving on the morning is still desirable. So you give a clean shave on the morning itself. So that again gives a very neat and tidy impression. Keep the interview folder. Some people think that, as I said, they'll carry everything on the shopping bag, but remember to keep the interview folder. Keep everything in the folder, and the folder should contain a copy of the application form that you sent it. Combined with that, the complete biodata. Anytime they want any detail, like if they ask you, when did you qualify that examination? What was the year? Was it 83? You say, I'm not sure whether it's 84 or 85. So instead of saying I'm not sure, you can always say, let me have a quick look. Yes, sir, it is 83. No, sorry, sir, it's not 83, it is 84. So can I look at it? Yes, this is the certificate that I have. So complete biodata along with copies of relevant certificates and the originals which will be checked. Most of the interviews, before even you enter into the hall, the originals will be checked. So you should also keep the originals and the copies. Sometimes they will say that, oh, we missed this certificate, so can you just give us a copy? Always keep a spare copy that can be given immediately. You can say yes, of course, and give the copy. Even you should be ready with one complete CV, biodata with all certificates attested in certain cases, ready. And if they say that they don't have it, just give it. And remember the homework that you have done. Take notes on the company's profile and keep the notes. And in certain cases, they will ask you to give a plan as how you are going to execute your job, your vision for the organization, your major goals and objectives. And then in certain cases, they'll tell you to come with a proposal, business proposal. Get all these things in one folder and keep that with you. The folder itself may look like a briefcase or it may be just a folder, but keep that with you handy all the time. Now, once you are ready with this, let's look into some more aspects of getting into the interview hall. related again with body language, related again with creating a favorable impression. I'll talk about in the next slide. Some more keys to success in interviews. Now, before you walk in that door, have a good frame of mind, optimistic frame of mind, and clear your mind with all negative chatter that will be happening there. Now, understand that even if there are so many candidates who have gone before you understand the psyche of the members who are sitting there. They know very well that they are not very satisfied with most of the candidates. Maybe there is one candidate whom they are okay with, but there is a possibility that they are not very happy with most of the candidates, although many have gone before you. So do not think negatively that many have gone before me, so I may not be selected. So don't keep that thinking. Instead of that, think in your mind, many have gone, mostly the members are not satisfied, they are looking for the most appropriate candidate. And as soon as I enter, I should radiate that feeling and I should make them feel that it's me whom they are looking for. So with that attitude you enter, stop all negative thinking, and it's not the time to think whether you will be selected or not, it's the time to perform. Now, other important things, if you have a mobile phone, instead of even putting it in silent mode, it's better to switch it off. Sometimes what happens, you think that you put it in silent mode, or you put it in a mode that it's vibrating, and then the vibration itself can distract you because some people won't stop calling you till you answer. There's no other way. So it's better that you switch it off and put it inside your bag so that there is no disturbance in terms of your mobile or any other device that will attract your attention or distract your attention when you are trying to pay attention to the questions asked in the interview. Then understand that once you enter, there is nothing more important at that time when you are giving your time, and when those people are giving their valuable time to listen to you, there's nothing more important, not a call from your friend saying that all the best. So where are you? Are you getting into the hall? Oh, so wish you good luck. Now this is not important as getting into the hall and actually performing and making chance do something for you. So don't wait for those calls and then think that they will send SMS. So don't wait, switch it off. There's nothing more important than the interview. Keep that in mind and give full attention, give complete body language towards it. Let them know before you even say your first word that you are the right choice. So your body language will emanate that kind of radiance that they feel, they sense, they psychologically perceive that you are going to be the first choice. Create that one. To do that, radiate confidence and smile when you enter. You must have heard of relaxed concentration, especially in Olympics and all that. People who win gold medal after gold medals are generally known for their relaxed concentration, and it is something that you should aspire for when you are entering into the interview hall. What is this relaxed concentration? Look at this picture, and especially if you look at the person who is about to dive, and then you must have seen sometimes in Olympics or any kind of international competition, sometimes kids are coming for diving, just 10 years old, 12 years old, 7, 8 years, 13 years, 15, 16. But you will see them just entering into a kind of trance, kind of meditative stage for a minute, and then they just take the dive. So that is the time they completely control the nervousness of the body movement, and at the same time they are fully focused. So relaxed concentration, and try to enter into that state of relaxed concentration. To do that, you will need to quiet the negative self chatter in your head through meditation. So very quick meditation. just calming your mind and focusing on the task at hand, or just visualization that you're going to emerge with flying colors, you will emerge as the victor. Visualize the result and then close your eyes, focus on it for a minute, and then just enter there. And do not think about the future, do not worry about the failure in the past interview, just focus on the present moment. And once you are there, act spontaneous, act naturally. Do not try to control your behavior, act naturally, but at the same time be well prepared. Be your authentic self. It should be professional, but yet it is real. That's what I mean by your authentic self, a professional self, but yet a real self. Now, once you are there, how is an interview structured? So, let's quickly look at the structure of an interview. What is it? How is it that they are going to start, and how will it end? First, it starts with greeting. So, either you go and say, "Good morning, sirs," and if there is madam, you also say, "Good morning, sirs and madam," so that you do not create a feeling that you are excluding the other gender. In an Indian context, you say namaste. Greeting, either you or as soon as you enter, they greet, they welcome you, they receive you, they also say good morning. And then there is this chairman of the interview or somebody who is leading the committee. He introduces you to the rest of the people. He calls you by your name formally and then tells all the other people he is so and so from this institute, from this company, and makes a brief introduction. And the professional panel, the person will also introduce to you the members who are there and from where they are coming from, and a brief introduction before starting. Now, this is just to relax your nerves, just to keep you cool and comforted. Then this is the first one. Then there is a casual, informal talk to develop rapport. So, just they may ask something about, "Oh, it's raining so heavily. How did you manage to come without getting drenched?" So, you say that I carried an umbrella. "Oh, but it's so heavy, I thought you may even slightly get drenched," and so on. Or some funny jokes related again to the weather or some kind of happening, maybe continuous derailing happening in some place which has become a normal thing. So, something referring to that, and then saying that how could you travel by the same route when 5-6 trains have derailed in the past 1 week? So, it's a wonder. So, good luck to you. Now, just casual talk related to weather, related to travel, related to simple mundane things, just to make you feel normal and to develop a rapport. This is a time you can also smile, you can also say some light-hearted things. So, things related to punctuality, that you came by a train which is expected to come 6 hours late all the time, but then so happened that that day it was correct in time, and they were also surprised, and everybody laughs at the thing. So, you also relax and laugh at it. And then it goes to the next stage where there is a formal presentation of your CV. Either the chairman presents it, describes everything. In that case, it's a kind of verification with you. So, you did your undergraduate from this institute, and then you got this many percent, and you also came first in the college, and you also won the gold medal for this thing. So, you will be just saying, "Yes, sir, yes, of course, yeah." Now, on the other hand, they can also tell you, "Could you please say something about yourself?" Now, this is not the moment where you just speak of your achievements, etc., in a very boastful manner. This is actually a CV testing kind of question. They just want to know your brief background, your academic background, your experience, and then your goals and objectives. So instead of they telling the CV, they can also ask you to present it from your side. Questions may differ, but this is the next level. Then followed by this, there can be some clarifications on your educational background. There may be some typing error in the form that they have, in which they had cumulatively entered your data. They say that, oh, you say that you have 8 years experience, and we find that it's 3 years experience in our form. So you can correct it, and then if required, they may say that, could you please show that experience certificate? Yes, of course, you are able to show it. So the next time is just clarifying, verifying whether you are the person whom the CV is describing you to be, and they keep verifying some very important data. Followed by this, slowly they may start asking you your motive related to applying for this job. So tell us why you are interested in this job. So again, they can start in a very light-hearted manner. Or if you are likely to move from, let's say in India, from the southern part to northern part, they would like to know, so why from Chennai you are coming to Delhi? So the institution is same, the perks are same, but why would you like to change? So why are you interested in this organization? So this is just slowly moving towards the main objective of the interview. Followed by this, in case you are leaving a previous job, they just want to know why you left the previous job, the reasons for leaving the previous job. So most of the times, if you left with a very unpleasant thing, it's better not to talk about that at the beginning itself, and unless you are pushed. So you can still be honest instead of telling a lie, and you can try to highlight the challenges that the present job that's likely to give, and then you can show that whatever happened in the previous one, you are looking forward towards a very optimistic and a healthy career in the present one, the one that you are pursuing now. So that can still create a kind of neutral image, and in certain cases positive image, depending on the way you present it. And then slowly they will go to the next level where they start assessing your suitability to the job. This is done at various levels, just checking your skills, asking questions related to your subject knowledge, asking questions related to your personality traits, putting you into hypothetical situation, but overall they are just trying to assess whether you are suited to the job or not. Then once they realize that, okay, they have a good feeling that you're the most appropriate one, the next one, can they really afford you? So they want to know whether their company's norms, their conditions are acceptable to you. So you may have to travel a lot, or your first posting may be in a desert, in a remote place. So would you be interested if you are given that? Or you may be asked even to sign a contract. So would you be interested in signing a contract? The period may be 3 years, 5 years. So these are the terms that they may be telling, the norms of the company. So there are companies that would send you abroad. So you're so much interested in going abroad by joining the company, but they'll make it very clear that we'll send you abroad after the first year when the training is over, and you have a choice of 3 countries, you can go there, but when you come back after 2 years, you should serve in our organization minimum for 3 years and expected time is 5 years. But if you break it, we take the money from day 1 till that period with interest, and it would come to a maximum of, or a minimum of, they may say 10 lakhs to 15 lakhs, or in certain cases it can go more than that depending on your pay package. So they may even ask you, are you willing to take it up if this is the situation? So this is the level where you can be almost sure that they want you, but only they want to know whether you will be able to accept this. You can also understand this is the stage where they have entered into negotiation. Okay. You can also understand that they are quite satisfied with your performance, or there may be some hiccups, but then they think that they can train you and manage it. So this is also the time you can also try to negotiate, and this is also the time they give you a chance to ask some questions. Okay. So if you have some questions left, this is the time that you can ask after they finish negotiating with you their terms and conditions. And once this is done, the concluding part, you should always remember to thank them, thank all of them in general, in particular. If they are giving the hand, shake hands, say bye, and then they will also tell you how you can contact them if required after this. Some post operations will be suggested to you, so keep that in mind. So the concluding part, once again, leave that with a pleasant feeling and remember to say thanks and bye properly, and get ready for the post interview operations. I'll talk more about the post interview operations in the coming lecture, and how detail you should do all these things inside the room also in the coming lecture. So once again, go back to the previous lectures, think of the points that I said in this one, and get ready for the next one. Thank you so much.